Well, good morning, everybody. It's Dave and Bo. We're out in the garden already. We're going to take a look around, see what's new, see what's blooming, see what the cat's eating. And the first thing I want to do is to show off this incredible Magnolia Solangiana. And I have to stay out of the sun because it is hot here. It is going to be 80 degrees today. It is January the 17th. 2026. Take that, all my friends from Cleveland. I know it's snowing there, but it is super hot here. We hit 84 like 2 or 3 days ago, and we still have another couple of days left of this before we drop back down into the 60s, which is normal for us at this time of year. But it's caused a lot of things to bloom a little bit earlier than normal. But take a look at how beautiful, I'm going to zoom in here, and stunning this tree is. There we go. I think that's about where we were. And now we can also take a look at the inside of it as well. Very light fragrance, but when you do get up to it, it does have a fragrance. It's just one of those scents of the new year, of freshness. You know, it's just something that is so incredible. And this plant is very easy to grow. This has been in the ground here since the 90s, early 90s. And I think the earliest picture I have of this is like 1996, when it's only about that tall. So we'll cruise around the yard, probably go this way, I think, first. The sun is already up and hot, and we did have a little bit of cloud cover this morning, but only for a couple of hours. That is Celebrity Tree Rose. More buds yet to open. Again, January 17th. Over here, we have the famous Lycosium. I mean, look at that. How many weeks have we been talking about this plant? 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It's in perfect bloom. Whole series of them behind, still yet to open. I don't think I have anything to say about the plants back there, although I did clean them up a little bit. And I do have to water because it's in the 80s. We had that great rainstorm, and that did really well for us. I was able to prune back a couple more roses. This is Crimson Bouquet, which is a Floribunda type rose. And then I also pruned the Gemini rose bush, which is coming up here pretty quickly. There we go. And you can definitely take a look at what a beautiful blossom this is for that succulent. We got some columbine coming up. Acer palmatum Jordan, which looks like it could leaf out almost any minute now. I mean, you got a couple buds that are beginning to swell up there. Heliotrope in the back. Scented geranium in the back as well. We've got some buds coming out already on the roses. More columbine. Chamaecyparis, if you can see it against the ivy there. Of course, Shishigashira. The New Guinea impatiens are absolutely loving the warm weather. The Plumeria, I saw on a gardening site the other day, what's wrong with my Plumeria? And it looked like this. And luckily, everyone answered the question correctly, is nothing is wrong. Plumerias kind of go dormant during the winter time, and this is the way that they go dormant. So you'll be able to see that they still have maybe a little bit of new growth, or some leaves that are just about to pop out. But most of the time on Plumerias, They are going to turn yellow. They are going to drop their leaves, and that is totally okay. Obviously, in real cold climates, you need to bring them in because they are frost tender and they will turn to mush if you get a freeze. But for us in Southern California, that's very, very rare. And of course, the older, more established plant you have, the less likely it's going to damage in colder weather. But again, this is a plant that is from the cactus family. It's from the Euphorbia family. Actually, it's the same, I believe it's the same family as the poinsettia, just to give you an idea of how broad families can be within the plant kingdom. Back up here, everything's looking really, really good. Now I can't wait for the bloodgood to leaf out. I wait for months and months for it to lose its leaves so I can prune it. Now I want it to leaf out. The daylilies are coming back real nicely. Again, that just beautiful heliotropium blossom. We had done some work during this past week. We continued on with the border here, and then it's just going to drop down around the corner there. We found, as we weeded, we found the waterfall Japanese maple here. It has never done well, and it's just, I think this one is pretty much done. I'm going to put it off in a corner somewhere and see if it will recover. But one thing that I didn't realize, I don't know if you can kind of see it here. Look at the damage to the bark. I was focusing on the wrong thing. Look at the damage to the bark on the main trunk. I did not see that when I first bought it, and I didn't know why it was constantly dying back. And I mean, this was a huge plant and it just kept dying back. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with it. And then at the base, I noticed that the trunk had really been damaged. I don't know if it was because of shipping or something along the lines that happened to it when it got delivered. But I think that is the main reason why it's been struggling. So we've got a few green branches, I should say, over here. So again, I'm just going to transplant this because it's in a real high visible area of the yard. I'm changing this area around. So this will be transplanted out, given a second shot somewhere in the garden. Same thing with the seedling of the guava. My neighbor's got a guava tree, and there's a whole bunch of seedlings in a lot of places. So let's head out, take a look at the rose garden. I'm not going to go the other way because I just kind of re-leveled this area. So that's work in progress. Over here, I've got some more Japanese maples that need to get into the ground. Fig seedling, that'll just come out. And then this is a really cool plant I planted many years ago, probably 20 years ago, called Origeron. And sometimes it's called Santa Barbara daisy. I don't know if that's in other parts of the country, but because I live somewhere near, a couple hours away from Santa Barbara, they call it Santa Barbara daisy. It is a white, small little flowering plant, drought tolerant, great for small hillsides being like a couple of feet, not 10 or 20 feet. It's not going to hold the hillside in by any means, but it is much more great for that kind of rock garden aesthetic. So I was glad to see some of that come up. I used to have a whole bunch of it in this area up here leading up to the upper planter deck. And of course, we'll take a look at the celery because that's looking fantastic. All right, let's head around to the rose garden. See what's going on over there. Bo's still laying down, so she's happy. This is Sangugaku. We've got the genetic dwarf peach and nectarine. Over here we do have, I cleaned this area out a couple weeks ago against the railroad ties, and you can see all the scillas coming up here. Red dragon, Japanese maple. This is a mugo pine. I keep wanting to call it South Point. It's not. Maybe it is. I know point is in the name. I can't remember the correct cultivar. Another Chamaecyparis kind of hiding back here. And Bo has decided to join us, calling her out for laying down in the planter. Beautiful bearded iris. In fact, you can see a whole bunch of bearded iris in this view. And then we also have that Japanese maple that's going to be planted. I'm probably going to plant it right here where this Arabian jasmine is. And so that will be moved over there. And then I forget which variety this is. Indian Summer. Indian Summer will plop right back into that hole that I built. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and go in. And before we go inside the rose garden, we'll just zip over here. Sorry for the bright sun coming in. In fact, we'll take a look at it this way. Take a look at the leaves on that blood lily. I mean, this is amazing. You're looking at right now, that foot there is about 2 feet wide, or excuse me, 2 feet long, almost 8 to 10 inches wide. Huge leaf, very orchid-like. Then we have all the scilla coming up on this side. A little bit of Corsican mint, which did not go dormant this year. Westringia, cousin-it, I believe it's acacia. Cruising around here, we've got the dwarf hemlock. We've got the chocolate cosmos that we pruned back. Didn't have to worry about frost at all after that pruning. Normally I would not have pruned it in the middle of winter, but it was so outrageously big. It was just in the way, needed to be pruned back, and we've had a mild winter. That's Bronze Age Japanese maple. Even this plant here, which pretty much froze last year, didn't know if it was going to come back, has come back perfectly. All the dead Shasta blossoms. I've only been able to prune one of them back here. I need to get the rest of those blossoms off. Prune the touch of class rose. We've got some Westringia here in bloom. That's the dwarf white. Lots of weeding to do. We've got some new growth on the Leonotis, which is great. That'll be for my sister. Some foxglove. Olive bush. Yew. Sweet pea bush. More irises. That's Santolina. The triple grafted plum tree, which I hope does really well this year. Mostly everything else is cut back. I've got a lot of work to do, especially right here. But when it's like 80 degrees, you don't want to be working out in the sun. And I got a lot of weeds coming up that need to be taken care of. Area needs to be remulched. And I did work on this last night. I went through and I edged along all of the bricks. That came out really nice because I did a lot of that in the dark. Bo will tell you she did it, but I actually did. And I think that is everything for this week. I think I'm just going to leave us with this view here of the irises. Have a great gardening week, everyone. We'll see you next Saturday.